America has a long, ugly history of people hating black and brown folks, so much so that they're willing to vote against their own survival just to keep their own racist ideologies alive.
Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's Ndagiri here. This is a video that I wanted to share with you guys where my people as black people are coming out and really exposing the hatred that these people have when it comes to seeing black people benefit in anything. And it's really sad because the verge of someone voting or actually denying themselves something because they don't want other people to access it is beyond crazy. I listened to these videos and I was like, really? This is the extent that these people, as pumped people, would go to, put themselves in shit, literally, to put themselves in trouble, in pain, than to see black people access things or other groups of people access things. And guys, this is not really to generalize anyone. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, white people are the same, like, oh, they all voted the same way. But like, the fact that majority of them would rather vote against their interest is insane. Guys, listen to what, people had to say about this. Come back and let me know your thoughts on it.
Y'all are so blinded by hate. Let me tell you how racism is going to keep the middle class stuck. America has a long, ugly history of people hating black and brown folks, so much so that they're willing to vote against their own survival just to keep their own racist ideologies alive. Time and time again, working class white Americans have been tricked into supporting policies that make them poorer, sicker, and more desperate, all because those in power tell them that they're going to punish black people and immigrants and other marginalized groups. Donald Trump's tax plan is the latest proof of this self-destructive cycle. His policies will hurt 95% of Americans, especially working class white Americans who make up a large percentage of his base, but yet they will still support him. Why? Because his campaign fuels their hate, distracting them from the fact that they too are being robbed. They are so determined to see black people struggle, so obsessed with upholding white supremacy that they will literally vote to make themselves poor if it means keeping the lie alive. Meanwhile, the ultra rich, who don't care about race at all, just about staying rich and in power, laugh as they continue to collect wealth off the backs of struggling Americans. Trump's tax plan is not just about economics. It's a weapon of mass distraction, designed to use racism as a smokescreen while the rich steal from the poor. This isn't anything new. It's the same trick used throughout history. From the days of slavery, when rich plantation owners convinced poor whites to fight for a system that oppressed them to Jim Crow laws, to today's voter suppression and economic exploitation. The question I have is, when will people wake up? How much suffering will it take for them to see that the real enemy isn't black and brown people? It's the billionaires and the politicians robbing them blind while feeding them lies. This is the truth that racists don't want to admit. The very policies they think will hurt black and brown folks will hurt them first. And when they find out that they've been used as pawns in a game that's designed to keep them struggling, it may be too late.
I was talking about how the American middle class really started to shrink once the civil rights movement was passed and white people stopped supporting social programs because black people had access to them. And I get a lot of comments like this wondering exactly what went away. So I wanted to go into that a little bit. For starters, it's important to know that the idea most people have of American culture today didn't exist for the first half of the 20th century. And the United States government actually spent a lot of money on a process called Americanization, where they built exclusive white neighborhoods so that white people could feel a sense of national pride about the good schools, parks, and pools inside of them. During this time, most states also created a system of public universities and colleges that had free or reduced tuition, so students only had to pay for their housing and books. And of course, these programs were extremely popular with the new white middle class until civil rights started to make major progress in the 1950s and 60s, at which point you see support for public goods start to disappear. In her book, The Sum of Us, the author Rachel McGee describes this concept as drain pool politics, because in the center of a lot of these communities was a massive glimmering pool that stood as a testament to what the American government could do for its people. And rather than integrate when the government said that segregation was no longer legal, a lot of these communities chose to fill their pools with bleach, acid, or just drain them and top them off with concrete so that they didn't have to share with black people. And this shows perfectly on the personal or even community scale how white people have historically shot themselves in the foot to stop other people from taking advantage of benefits they already have, but it happens on the nationwide level too, which is why the Republican dog whistle about the welfare queen myth has been so popular and why a white majority hasn't voted for a Democratic candidate for president in decades. And a lot of the blame gets laid at the feet of individuals like Reagan and Nixon, but it's important to remember that Republican policies are popular with white voters, and Heather McGhee sums it up really well when she says that public goods are only popular when the public is viewed as good. So as soon as black people got a seat at the table, white support for public programs really started to dip, and we've been on that trajectory ever since.
So racism has always been expensive. It's always been expensive. It's just, they always thought that they would have the fee. They always thought they would have the fee, and hell, for a good minute they did. They had the fee to give. See, the problem is now they don't have the fee. They don't have the fee, so it's becoming a problem. And rather than stop trying to pay the fucking fee, y'all will literally kill yourselves and kill the reputation of this country, of this nation, trying to pay a fee that y'all should have been stopped paying. Okay? Y'all should have been stopped paying. When colleges went from being tuition free to tuition based in the 1960s, that was all because y'all couldn't stop us from getting educated anymore. So you wanted to put a roadblock in there. You wanted to make it harder for us. We didn't have the capital like you guys did. So you added tuition. The reason why America doesn't have universal health care is because that means everybody would have access to it, that including people like me and you. And they don't want that. They thought that they would always have surgery money. They thought that they was always going to have outpatient care money. You understand? Private doctor money. Hell, I'm not going to an office. I can always have them come to me. That's what they thought they was always going to have. And as they started to see that they were losing leverage, rather than stop paying the fee for racism, they said, bitch, here, take my arm, take my leg, take my organs. To the point where you guys are where you are today. Still trying to pay a fee. Going out of your way to pay a fee. That literally is killing you. It's killing you. And then now that you're starting to realize that y'all really did fuck around a little bit too much, you want my pretty black ass to get up out of my seat to come and fight for you? Oh, you're fucking stupid. Oh, you're beyond stupid. You're beyond my pretty self. You see me? Y'all see my brothers and sisters? They fine too. We supposed to get up out of our seats, up out of our beds. And I heard a white woman literally said, black people, stay where you are. I would never take no advice from white people unless it was on how to be selfish, because that's the only thing that I think that they can give. However, this white lady said, do not get up out of your seats. You want to know why? They want us to get out and be in the streets so that now they can plot to kill us. Us doing exactly what we're doing. Like, this is why they so hot. This is why they 50 degrees. Like, they hot because they wanted us to come out there so that we could be fucking sitting ducks. Especially considering they done seen how fucking expensive racism is now. But it's always been like that. Y'all just didn't care because y'all had the fee.
I'm going to step on a bunch of people's feet when I say this. You are not being discriminated against just because you are not centered in the story. I need people to marinate in that, sit with that. You are not being oppressed by other people talking about various histories or focusing on various literature. None of those things are directly harmful to you. The way some folks will literally try to spin it as if talking about, let's take an example, if talking about Black history is harmful to them somehow. They never prove it. They never have any tangible examples of the actual harm of discussing Black history. It's all based upon people's feelings, which if we're basing things upon people's feelings, there's a whole group of Black people who would love to talk about our feelings about things. Our feelings are never considered in these conversations. But the idea that it is oppressive to certain groups of folks to learn Black history is wild. That is somehow harmful and detrimental to these folks to learn actual history, things that have actually happened, as opposed to those things that actually happened, is wild. It shows me that y'all have never truly been oppressed because of your color of your skin. Like, y'all have never experienced that. When I'm having these discussions here on this forum and folks come on and they leave their comments when I ask them for examples of how this is oppressive to them, you know what some of those comments are? Black history section at the bookstore. Netflix having a whole black section. The black hair care aisle. Do y'all see how that's like wild? That other people simply existing, simply talking about existing, or in the case of the hair care aisle, simply caring for our bodies is somehow oppressive to folks who are so used to being centered that they lose their marbles when they hear or learn or are confronted with the idea that other people exist in this world and may want a little scalp moisturizer or may want to read a book that talks about our experiences, or may want to watch a love story that features black love. That's the worst you gotta deal with? The idea that other people simply exist? That's the worst you have to deal with? Also, let me say this, because y'all think that everything black people do is cool without giving black people credit for it. Oppression is not fun. Being oppressed is not cute. Being harmed in so many different ways just because of the people that you come from is literally not fun. And I don't know why so many people want to be oppressed. I mean, outside of the fact that y'all think that everything black people do is cool. I mean, a bunch of y'all walk around with do-rags right now trying to get waves. And I'm like, baby, you enjoy those cornfield looking locks. Like, that's fine. Baby, y'all don't even know what this stuff is for. A bunch of y'all were throwing oil in your hair and like y'all didn't know what that stuff was for. Like, it's weird. It's strange. It's odd. It's getting strange. It's okay if you're not centered in the story. It's okay. Other people exist. Other people could tell their perspectives. Other people matter too. Like, wasn't that y'all big thing that all lives matter? Isn't this a prime example of that? Breathe. It's okay. Other people exist. You'll be fine. You'll survive.
Like I said, guys, it's insane that someone has to vote against their interests just to not share some benefits with a specific group of people, which aka are black people majority of the time. When it comes to the US setting, it is a system that was built on the backs of, masters and people being put down and not literally being seen as beings, which is insane. And I'm starting to think that when these people went on the ballots, really, they knew it was kind of going to change, but they didn't really expect that it was going to be this crazy. They knew like things would shift and the leader that they voted for was going to do like some crazy decisions. But they didn't expect that it was going to come to their faces, or they knew that we would rather vote for this person and we lose, the benefits that we have, as long as it's going to somehow not benefit other groups of people. I mean, if it's been happening in history throughout, and you guys, like these guys, have been choosing to rather be in pain than to share benefits. Why would we even come here and be like, oh, they didn't know what they were doing? They, they just effed around and found out. I think they clearly knew what they were doing. It's just that it's too much for them to handle, and they are backing out of it. And it's more insane. Like, I saw videos of them really calling out to, black people and these other groups of people, like the PAM people are calling out to minority groups. Like, guys, we need to work together. We need to go on the streets. We need to demonstrate. We need to go and, cause some trouble on the streets, because this government is not doing what we want. Not really doing what you want, or not really you guys getting your way as you've always been getting things out of your way for how you look like. When it comes to the decisions like Trump is making, guys, it is something they never expected that was going to affect them, but it is, or they thought it was going to somehow, affect, but not to the level that it is now, that they are losing jobs, they can't access things, they can't access a lot of things are expensive, they are getting they're getting more exposed. I feel like the world is really seeing the reality of what America is, and it's not a pretty good look. They do not like to see that, so they are really doubling now and regretting what they actually voted for. And it's insane to me. I can't stress enough on how I love how black people are handling the situation, that no matter what, they are doubling down and not getting into anyone's fight. because they did not cause this, they did not cause this, they voted for the right way. What is more insane and funny is that if these people were given like the same vote or same election like tomorrow, I assure you they would do and vote the same person. They would still vote against their interest, because in their brains they just can't stand seeing people of color in power. They just can't see people of color in control of things, because they believe they are the best at handling things. And it's insane. It's insane. So really, I love the education that Black people are really putting out, and the energy that they are giving, not, involving themselves in anyone's fight that they did not cause at any point. And we are seeing how that is impacting the economy. Guys, I'll share a video about how everything is going down about the economy of the US and how everything is falling apart because my people back down. My people are not giving any kind of energy of going on the streets and, causing any chaos, because, yeah, they're waiting for that to do the most to my people, but it's not happening. They are really feeling the hate, and I kind of like seeing it, because I mean, if you're willing to lose something because you don't want someone else to enjoy it, you deserve everything that is happening to you. Like, I can't be or feel sorry for whatever that you are going through. Like, that's just common sense. That is just common sense, and it shows what of a character these people are. Not all of them, but majority. This is truly showing who they truly are, and it's not really a good look. It's pretty not a good look. Guys, that is it for me in the video. Let me know what you think about this. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting, guys. I will see you or hear from you in another video. Bye.